Good evening and welcome to our council agenda briefing for at the Kalgoorlie Town Hall for the 9th of February 2026. I declare tonight's meeting open at 6 p.m. On behalf of the City of Kalgoorlie-Boulder, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land in which we meet this evening and pay my respects to elders past and present. This meeting is being recorded and streamed live on Council's website in accordance with the City's public participation in Council meeting policy, which can be viewed on Council's website. All reasonable care is taken to maintain your privacy. However, if there are visitors in the gallery, presence may be recorded. By remaining in the public gallery, it is assumed your consent is given if your image is broadcast. Tonight we have an agenda briefing forum. This enables elected members the opportunity to ask questions in relation to the reports that have been presented for Council determination at next week's ordinary Council meeting. This meeting is intended to support informed decision-making and Council transparency. The format of the agenda briefing forum is as follows. For each report, we may request a brief overview from the Acting CEO or who may delegate that to the Director to speak on their behalf. Once the Acting CEO or Director has finished speaking, we give the opportunity for elected members to ask any questions they have in relation to the report. We may also shortcut that process if there are questions identified beforehand as well. Elected members are not to make statements, offer opinions or declare how they intend to vote on an item, and I will interject where elected members are providing commentary outside of asking questions in relation to the current item. Once all questions have been asked on a report, we will move on to the next item. Where the Acting CEO or Director is unable to answer a question, the question will be taken on notice and answered in writing for the benefit of all elected members. And finally, any questions that are not asked this evening can still be emailed to the Council Administration team through the EM request process for elected members for response prior to the ordinary Council meeting. No decisions are made until next week's ordinary Council meeting on Monday night at 6 p.m. here at the Kalgoorlie Town Hall, and members of the public are invited to attend or to view the live stream of that meeting to ascertain Council's decisions in relation to the matters discussed tonight. In attendance alongside myself, we have Deputy Mayor Terence Winner. Good evening to you. Councillor Bodica, good evening to you. Hello, Councillor Della. All the best to you tonight, Councillor Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Greetings, Councillor O'Donnell. Councillor Viskovich, welcome. Hello, Councillor House. And good evening, Councillor Walker-Dunstan. Also tonight at the big table for the first time is the Acting Chief Executive Officer, Mel Osborne. Mel, good evening to you. Joining us at the Directors' table this evening is Mayor Hicks, our Director of Advocacy and Strategy. Our Director of Corporate and Commercial is Cass Yeager, who's here tonight. Adam Streeline is the Director of City and Community, and Louis Camporelli is the Director of Engineering. We also are joined by Governance and IT staff. Councillors, I don't have any interests to note for next week's items at this particular point in time, but you have until next week's meeting to deliver those to us, myself or staff through that process. We go straight into reports of officers. We'll start off at 14.11, the Statement of Financial Activity for December 2025. Councillors, are there questions on this one? Councillor House indicating questions, so we'll get the Director to speak first of all. Councillor House, what's your question? Sorry, Councillor House, can you just turn your microphone on, please?
I get to do this. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Regarding confidential items, when we went to the Walgett training last week, we learnt that the confidential items have recently gone under reform, and from the 1st of January, they came into effect. My question is, do the confidential items listed on the agenda, do they meet the new requirements?
I will confirm that with the Acting CEO. Mr. Acting CEO, that question for you, I say they do.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll have to give my understanding as of when I left local government, and now I'm back into local government, so I will need to take some of that information on notice to see if there have been any changes to the legislation. But the Local Government Act did require confidential items to deal with three matters of a staffing or contractual matter, matters that might have been commercially sensitive, well, it's probably those two are the two main ones. So I will confirm before we get into the council meeting if there has been any further changes, Councillor. I'm not aware that anything has been socialised to the local governments about specific changes, and perhaps I can talk to you after the meeting around what you were informed of at the training.
Thank you, Councillor House. Good point, and well done to the councillors who have recently done their training. Did you have questions on this item, sorry, Councillor House, or was it a 14.11? Okay, lovely. Director Jaeger for a quick presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The purpose of this report is for Council to receive the December 2025 Statement of Financial Activity, and the report outlines variances between year-to-date budget and actuals.
Councillors, questions? We've got three in a row. I'll go to you, Councillor O'Donnell, first of all. You're first up, put your hand.
Thank you. Page 11, variances. It says three vacant positions were not budgeted for in government for 286,000 and they're now filled. Why are they not included in our budget?
Councillor, this one has been brought up every time that we have managed to bring this to a council agenda briefing, I believe in the last 4 meetings and potentially prior to that as well. And it has been answered every single time. Do you have a follow-up question?
Point of clarification. Yes, the reason why I did bring it up, I've spoken with the director. It was to bring it to the fore so that we can move on from this. And I did have a follow-up question to us, but it was to say, in going forward, we either that's how it's going to be for ongoing budgets, or it's going to be changed for the future budgets. I just trying to get clarification so we can sort it out.
Thank you. Director Jaeger.
Officers have been reviewing the employee costs as part of the mid-year budget review, and we will have some further information for Council at the March Concept Forum, particularly focusing on employee costs.
Thank you, Councillor O'Donnell. Follow-up question?
One more question. There was an increase in passenger numbers through security screen, and that increased by about 149,000. Is part of the tender for having that security, is it per person they get paid by?
Director?
Yes, that's correct.
Further
question?
Supplementary.
For every single person that's gone through, or just for as a whole? Just to confirm.
No, this is the last one.
Thank you.
For this passage. Is there a potential, I don't know, in looking forward, when we do, the next time the tender comes around, that it can just be on site, so we're not paying per person, knowing how many, we get so many?
Director?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you. If we were to charge hourly, there may be some hours where there's only 3 or 4 passengers who come through, and then there may be an hour where there's a couple of hundred that come through. So the structure of the contract is to ensure that we are adequately paying the contractor for their services. So we can definitely take that point into consideration next time, but at this stage it is per passenger, those charges.
Thank you, Councillor O'Donnell. Councillor House.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just following on from Councillor O'Donnell and the discrepancy with the employment costs, I'm just wanting to get some clarification around the synergy between the commentary made where the officers stated, and I also clarified on notice, that the comment was that the employment costs for these 3 positions were assigned to a 0 budget line item, which was concerning just from a budgetary point of view. But I want to understand what that synergy is between the 0 budget line item and the over budget of, I'm sure I'm reading this correctly, it's a $2 million variance. We're $2 million over budget on employment costs. So can I just confirm that? I'm reading that correctly, $2 million overrun on employment costs, and does that have any synergy to the 0 line item budgets? Thank you.
Director.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, as I did indicate, we are doing some significant work on this, so I can probably answer that better at the March Concept Forum in terms of the specific positions and how that position has come to be.
Thank you. Councillor House.
Mr. Mayor, just supplementary, please. I presume the March meeting that'd be around but mid-year budget deliberations. Naturally, we'll be talking about these types of significant variations in that forum. I think it would be remiss of us not to be addressing this as a matter of utmost concern and to try to understand what this financial situation is before we get into those budget deliberations for mid-year. I think that would be wise and something that we should be considering as an organisation.
That's a comment, Councillor House, but I note that your intent there is to get the answer before the mid-year budget. Thank you. No further questions? Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few. The first one in a similar vein to other councillors. With over 143 vacant positions available in the city as of November 2025, and the year-to-date salary expenditure is over budget by $2 million, can the officer please provide council with any additional information regarding how this is being managed between now and when it's next brought back to council, given that it's at about a $300,000 variation per month?
Director.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I probably have to take that on notice. I can provide a detailed response.
Thank you. The next question I have is also within the attached monthly financial report, under expenditure from operating activities, the explanation for the additional employee cost to date only amounts to just over $1 million. Can further explanation to the other $1 million worth of over expenditure please be supplied to council at an appropriate time and moving forward?
Taken on notice.
Thank
Deputy Mayor.
you. Just a couple more. Again, with the expenditure from operating activities within the attached monthly financial report, it states there is an under expenditure under contributions, donations and subsidies of $865,000 year to date due to delays. I just wanted to confirm that this amount is still expected to be expended once the delays in other funding is resolved.
Director.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor. So that's the $943,000 variance. Is that the one you're referring to? Sorry.
Sorry, under contributions, donations and subsidies, it's $865,055.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor. So those contributions, particularly in relation to the community-led support fund, that's dependent on the formal approval coming from the Department of Social Services. So we are waiting as each stage comes as to when those get released. So we are kind of waiting to get the next step of when they will be released. But we are expecting them to come through, but the decisions have been delayed.
Our expectation is we're still planning to expand that this year.
Yes.
Beautiful. And the last one from myself is we disposed of an 18-seater Isuzu bus. Before disposal, was any other possible uses for this bus explored?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'd have to take that one on notice.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any further questions? No. Item 14.1.2, quarterly commercial business reports, quarter 2. Councillors, you have 7 reports presented to you. I think we have questions from those reports. I will just go straight into questions. Councillor O'Donnell, you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under waste, we've got it down to year to date, $8.2 million profit, and expenditure, operations expenditure, $3.5 million. What is operations expenditure?
Director.
Thank you, through the Mayor. So the majority of that expense relates to the Yarrie Road management contract and also our waste collection contract with Cleanaway.
Sorry, thank you, Director. Councillor?
Sorry. It's just a supplementary, possibly. Is that something we could possibly look forward to as well, going forward, whether we take control of the Yarrie Road tip?
It's probably a question for Council to consider in the future. I won't take it from that particular point, but thank you. Any further questions? Councillor O'Donnell, sorry. No, thank you. Go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
The airport has $94,000 down as donations and sponsorship. Do you know what that $94,000 was spent on?
Director?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that is the sponsorship for the WA PGA tournament. The golf tournament, the PGA golf tournament.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor O'Donnell. Thank you, Director. Councillor House.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just in reference to the water business report, I'd just like to ask the question, can we or have we considered as an organisation to create a corporate entity for our wastewater system? And it's following up from our conversation with the consultant last week where she mentioned there was the opportunity to operate under the Water Corporations Act.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor House, I'll hold you there because that's not part of the actual report.
It's not, no, you're right.
So I won't take that question tonight, but we'll note that you have a question in regards to that for purposes. It's coming to the concept forum next week. So we can give you some further detail. Or when we have the concept forum. Sorry, I'm out of whack with dates. Any further questions? No? Thank you. Item 14.13, Accounts Payable Report, January 2026. Are there any questions, councillors? Councillor Viskovich.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just on the accounts payable, there's a couple of items listed on 60 to 90 days overdue. Do we have a list of those creditors that we are supplied or a reason why they haven't been paid?
Sorry, stand by, I'll just bring it up. I just had to restart Docs on Tap. Can you please refer to the page number? Because item 14.13, the accounts payable report, is with the fuel card, the credit card, the direct debit payments and the EFT payments.
There was no attachment for the overdue payables. It was just listed as an amount in 60 and 90 days.
Is that, I just want to try and find where that report is at this point in time, sorry. Was that one of the attachments listed?
Leave it with me, Mr Mayor. I'll find it and I'll email it through for you.
Thank you. Thanks, Councillor Viskovich.
Thanks.
Any further questions on the accounts payable? Councillor House?
Mr Mayor, thank you. There was a transaction on the 28th of the 1st, and it was relating to a strategic workshop. I was just wanting to understand what the strategic workshop was in aid of.
No problems. That would be under the EFT transactions payments, yep. Do you have a page number?
If it was to assist, it was the Director of Engineering.
Okay. We'll get that question taken on notice for you, Councillor House. Any further questions, councillors? No? Thank you, Director. In fact, stay there because I'll jump forward to your directorate and then come back, save you getting up and coming down. Item 14.31, Commercial Retail Lease 260 Hannon Street, Hello World. Councillor Bodica will have a financial interest in this when it comes to council for discussion, please note. However, as no decisions are being made tonight, that Councillor Bodica is welcome to stay in the chamber.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The purpose of this report is for Council to consider a lease request for 260 Hannon Street from Vogue West Proprietary Limited, trading as Hello World. The applicant and the city have agreed to a 2-year lease with 1 3-year option. The third-party valuation, which was undertaken, has come back with a rental figure of $31,702 per annum, inclusive of GST. With the total leasable area of 131 square metres, this equates to a $242 per square metre rate. A 3-month rent-free period would be applicable to this lease, and in accordance with the requirements of Section 3.58 of the Local Government Act, the proposed lease will be advertised via public notice. If there are any submissions received, the matter will be brought back to Council.
Thank you, thank you, Director. Apologies. Any questions, councillors? No questions. Thank you, Director Jaeger, tonight. Sorry, councillors, just to go forward to come back. 14.21 is the 2026 Australian Local Government National General Assembly, and we are looking at also this particular piece next week, endorsing advocacy framework as part of that, and also looking at our city-led motions for the Australian Local Government Association National General Assembly. Are there any questions, councillors, on 14.21? Councillor House, you have a question? If we get the Director, please, to come to the podium. Councillor House, your question.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I can't find it contained within the report or the attachments, the council resolutions from the previous discussions or the previous presentations, motions made at Olga. Is there reports that I can be referenced to or referred to where council has previously resolved on these motions?
The short answer is yes, and that has every motion that we've presented has been endorsed by council before it goes ahead. So that would take place for 2025 and 2024 at least. So they are part of the minutes. We can direct those to you as well. Director, if there's anything further that you wish to add?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Wilson. It's also a requirement of submitting to the Australian Local Government National General Assembly that we have council resolution.
Yeah, and that Councillor House is just asking for, has there previously been that supported by council to go and to move forward? Yes. Thank you. Further questions, Councillor House?
Supplementary. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In terms of the advocacy framework, what's the requirement for us to have this framework? Does this tick any of the regulatory boxes that we are to achieve?
Look, the framework is a voluntary space, which is also something that we've been quite passionate about, and to ensure that we're united in what it is that we're advocating for as a council, something that we previously haven't had. Director, this has been an item from your directorate. Do you wish to add any further?
Thank you, Mayor Wilson. Yeah, so it's to endorse council's position on each of the different topics, but also just to provide to ministers and so forth when council is attending meetings in Perth or in Canberra, just to reiterate not only the council's stance, but also reflecting the community's position on some of these topics, which has been formed through the community strategic plan.
Thank you, Director. Councillor House?
Just a question. What happens if our position changes on a particular position or item? How do we pivot? How do we make those adjustments to the advocacy framework? Is it capable of being fluid so that if there's an opportunity that presents itself, we're able to take that opportunity by the horns?
Good question, Councillor House, and this is a review of those original pieces that we've already had, so we're reviewing it now, but maybe, Director, if you could add some further commentary on how that's done internally by staff as well from council conversations.
Thank you, Mayor Wilson. So if there are changes, let's say to policy, that will be updated quarterly, and we use that in any ministerial briefings that council might have and so forth. But this is best practice to bring it back to council now after a few small amendments, which you'll find at attachment 2, and actually have you endorse the entire new, some new positions that has changed. So as an example, sometimes a significant amount of funding comes through. So that would amend, your position where we're advocating for more funding, but then, it's been realized. So that's part of that review process. Thank you for the question.
The funding is discontinued after we are approved of funding as well, which has happened from time to time. Thank you, Director. Any further questions, Councillors? Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just through to the Director. Director, can you please explain why these 3 city-led submissions were selected amongst other possible options?
Director.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. These were provided on motions that we haven't previously taken to the National General Assembly. So these are 3 topics that we haven't actually advocated for previously, but also happy to take any comments, feedback via the CEO if there's any passionate items that you'd like to advocate for and work with you on that. Not a problem.
Thank you.
Further questions? If I may,
Go
Mr.
ahead,
Mayor?
Deputy
Thank you. Thank you, Director. The second question is, how often is it proposed that this framework and council's position and the advocacy pieces within the proposal to be reviewed and refreshed? Are we looking to, particularly within the advocacy framework, to have a clear review date in place for council? I notice it's not contained within the framework itself.
That would be prerogative of council, how often they'd like to see this brought to the table in terms of full review. I would recommend at least yearly, Deputy Mayor, because of the different policy changes and positions of government.
Thank you, Director. And the last question is, what level of external involvement has been involved in forming the city's position on each of the advocacy areas formed?
So that, again, I will refer back to the strategic community plan where we've looked at all of the strategic community plan and the survey, the community survey. We looked at all of the commentary that we received through that, but also its engagement through the Goldfields Esperance Development Commission and Regional Development Australia as well in terms of this advocacy framework. And we've gone through that with them, with officers from that area, and sought their feedback on the initial draft.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, councillors. Councillor House.
Through the Mayor, this is a question for the CEO, and sorry for putting you on the spot, Mr. CEO. The advocacy framework that's presented and contained in this report seems like it's quite significant. There's been a fair amount of work that's gone into it. I was just wondering why we haven't had the opportunity to deliberate on these advocacy items in our strategic and concept forums.
I will get your director to the acting CEO, but he has only been in the chair for probably a week or thereabouts. But if you wanted to answer it, acting CEO, feel free.
Well, through you, Mr. Mayor, the first thing I'd say is I think some of these matters have been socialised through council before, but maybe the council prior to the last elections. And of course, during the December-January period, there hasn't been a lot of interaction with elected members. And of course, we've now got a due date, which is almost upon us. So it's a matter of trying to get these matters up to council. There was some conversation at the concept forum last week for elected members to have their say and to give us some feedback. And now we've got the draft agenda here, and then final decision making, hopefully from council next Monday.
Thank you, acting CEO. Councillor House, if you've got a follow-up.
Yeah, I don't recall the item being listed for discussion at the agenda. I could be completely wrong on that, but I don't remember it being tabled.
It was listed as part of, not in detail with the advocacy framework, but it was listed as part of the motions being looked at for ALGA last week, which was presented to council. I think you may have left the room during that discussion, potentially. Councillor Della.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to the Director. Are the advocacy frameworks and the ALGA motions, are they generated to align with funding opportunities and the greater need for engagement in particular spaces?
Thank you. Through the Mayor, not all of the motions the statements are aligned with funding, but can be policy changes in terms of, healthcare is one that you may have seen in the framework where could make a big difference if we were reclassified as the Kalgoorlie-Boulder specifically. So there's different. It's not always funding related. It's also policy and for the benefit or the betterment of our community.
Thank you. Any further questions? Director, do you have any feedback from ALGA on our previous motions, and if they have enacted any of those previous motions that we have posed to them?
Thank you. Mayor Wilson, I will take that one on notice and I will provide that back to you this week.
Okay,
Thank you.
No further questions. Thank you, Director. Item 14.4.1 is the Oasis ground floor change rooms poolside refurbishment. Council is noting that there is a confidential attachment for this particular item as well. Very minimal in detail for that confidential, so we won't go into confidential in regards to that. But Director, do you have any questions for the Director, first of all? Yes, Councillor House, you have a question?
We've got a $250,000 budget overrun or request. Is that, if that's how I'm reading it, I'm going to need, some justification for that, Mr.
Thanks,
Mayor.
Councillor House. Director, at the podium, please. Sorry, Councillor Dell, you had a question?
Are we discussing a confidential attachment with a member of the public in the room?
No, not discussing the attachment. I'm just noting that to Council that there is an attachment. It has scant details, so it doesn't require us to go into confidentiality for that. On the attachment, you can
That's
all
fine.
read on what's on there, but
Thank
there's
you.
no discussion happening of a confidential nature at this point in time, unless somebody mentions something. Director, the question is in relation to the budget variation. Can you please provide some commentary?
Sure, and through yourself, Mr. Mayor. So the original budget allocation was $916,000, and given that the budget for this was put together in around February, March of 2025, costs in the building game have gone up significantly in that time, and especially in the space that we're looking at refurbishing at the Oasis.
Thank you, Director. Councillor Viskovich.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Noting I will have declared a financial on the night and will not be voting, can I confirm with the Director that the $234,000 budget amendment is a transfer from the administration building upgrade, which will form part of the $1.25 million reported that we saved on that project?
Noting your interest as well, Councillor Viskovich, for next week. Director.
Through yourself, Mr. Mayor, that is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Further questions, councillors? No? Thank you, Councillor House. Go ahead.
Only two tenderers for this project, as I understand, and the reason I'm asking this is I haven't even had a chance to see the attachment that's been uploaded. It wasn't uploaded to the original, so I'm just wanting to query, I guess, the process or the procedure that we've undertaken in terms of establishing how we need to budget the $230,000. I presume that we're in negotiations with the preferred tenderer.
Councillor House, there was only one tenderer for the project. It was advertised twice, so there is only one tenderer for the project. We'll take that question on notice, though, for you, as it obviously relates to something that's mentioned in the confidential attachment too. Thank you. Thank you, Director. Item 1451, Development Application D136/25, Lot 72, Number 1, Trasimeno Way, Somerville. Any questions? Councillor Viskovich, you have questions? Director, if you'd like to make your way to the podium. Thank you. Sorry, directing some traffic.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, this is actually just in relation to council team receiving our disclosure email. Is that still being sent out prior to agenda meetings?
I don't believe it's been sent out for this agenda at this point in time, but it will be being sent prior to the next, so just please note that. Thank you. Director, sorry, do you have a question now, Councillor Viskovich? Are there any questions on this item, councillors? No? Thank you. Councillor House, one question?
Just to keep my record up, Mr. Mayor, just wanting to understand, is there potential synergies with land that's surrounding this particular development, and have we looked at how we can support the proponent in exploring that?
Yeah, look, the item itself probably doesn't deal with the broader sense, and I understand what you're trying to say there, and relate it back to what would be the draft North Somerville District Structure Plan. I presume that's what you're trying to liaise with.
I was drawing a pretty thin bow there, Mr. Mayor. So
Yeah, no, sorry. It was a question for the sake of a question. I'll take that, and it was an answer for the sake of an answer. So no question we won't take at this point in time. Any further questions? No, thank you, councillors. We do have another one from the Director, which is item 1452, Youth Action Plan 2026 to 2030. Councillors, do we have any questions? Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one from myself. While absolutely thrilled that our incredible Youth Council have been involved in drafting this plan, were the partners named in the plan all aware and supportive of their role within the plan moving forward?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Director.
Sorry, thank you through you, Mr. Mayor. The partners were consulted as to just their feedback for development of the action plan. The proposals that populate the actions proposed are at a fairly high strategic level, noting that they will require potential partner commitments to proceed. That's why they haven't been essentially suggested as definitive actions. That is the follow-up, essentially provide that strategic direction on what partnerships we do look to pursue and negotiate with, and to see them hopefully assist the actions to come to fruition.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any further questions, councillors? No. Thank you, Director. Councillors, that wraps up our agenda. We do have, though, confidential items to discuss under advocacy and strategy, and also corporate and commercial. So we will take a pause on our recording, on our live stream, and also clear the room, as well as, councillors, you have the opportunity to be briefed on those And our streaming has recommenced this evening after Council were addressed on a couple of confidential items, and there'll be further confidential items, just to note, for public interest added during the week. The date of the next ordinary Council meeting will be next Monday evening, 6 p.m. here at the Kalgoorlie Town Hall. I'd like to thank everybody for their attendance tonight, elected members, acting CEO and staff, and look forward to next week's ordinary Council meeting. Thank you and good evening.